Hi guys, Martin88 here and welcome back to another FIFA 22 video, and today we have got some pro player tactics and we are looking at the 4-4-2 formation. Of course, I'm not the pro, as I tell you all the time. They've come from Josh9, who's just signed for Burnley esports team, the Premier League team. Yes, that's exactly who you're thinking, so well done to him and thank you for sending the tactics across for us to enjoy. He's currently about 75th in Europe and rising all the time as he goes through the elite division. So these tactics that we get from him are absolute gold dust. I just want to say as well that he does do his own YouTube channel. Link's going to be in the description and in the pinned comment. So if you do enjoy these tactics, show appreciation and go out and give him a sub. Okay? Right. Let's get into this. So on screen at the moment is his team. If you looked at the 4-2-3-1 tactics that I uploaded last week from Josh, you would have seen the team anyway. However, he does actually have Kimpembe instead of Vidic, but I need somebody in there so I can actually show you the tactics. So, of course, this is the 4-4-2 formation. Let's get straight into the tactics and the player instructions. Okay, so before we go through these, so Josh uses this. 4-2-3-1 is his main formation, but this is his second formation, okay? And I did a video on Monday about top 5 formations in FIFA, and if you're playing online, you need to have 2 or 3, realistically, or 4 even, when you're talking about closing out games, different formations up your sleeve, because just one formation isn't going to win you every single game, you know? So you need to have something different up your sleeve. And he said this is his second formation. So I said, what could I tell everyone about, like, when do you implement this? And he basically said just at any point in the game when he feels like his original formation, which in this instance is 4-2-3-1, but it might be different for you. It could be 4-3-3 or anything. If your initial formation isn't working, it could be 2-0 down after 20 minutes, or you could be playing somebody you think is a poor player but just can't break them down, or you feel like you need 2 strikers up front, just switch into it whenever you feel comfortable. Or of course, you can just start off with this as your main one and have, say, 4-2-3-1 as your second formation. Right, so enough rabbiting, let's get into the actual tactics. So, there seems to be a common theme with pros. They don't touch any of these, they're just all balanced. So defensive style, we've got balanced. The reason why it's unbalanced is because they just want to have full control over what they're doing. If they want to pressure, they'll do it manually. If they want to drop back, they'll do it manually. So yeah, they don't want to have the AI do too much for them. They want to have complete control over what is going on. Width is 50, which is default basically. The only difference here is we've now got 60 depth. Now, I know that a lot of people aren't really thinking that depth makes too much difference, but the depth for this is actually on 60, and I asked Josh about this, so why the change if people are saying that it doesn't really make too much difference? And he said, well, obviously it does make a little bit of difference, and it just wants to be way more aggressive when going into the 4-4-2. That's the difference from playing 4-2-3-1. For him, it says, when I turn into the 4-4-2, I want the opponent to know that I've changed and I want to be more aggressive, and having the depth up to 60 helps do that. Okay, build up play, balanced, chance creation, balanced. I'm not going to dwell on that too much. It's like what I said about the defensive style. Pros just want more control over it. If they want to go long ball, they'll play a long ball. If they want to slow it down, they'll slow it down. So having it on balance just leaves all options open for them. Whereas players like us, so non-pros, we kind of like a little bit of assistance from the AI. Offensive width 50. Of course, you don't really need to play around with that too much, because with 4-4-2 it's really quite wide because you've got 4 across the midfield. Lovely. Players in the box. I really like Josh's thinking on this. So he says he has 1 bar for every attacking player, or every player that he feels could end up in an attacking position. So of course with 4-4-2 we've got 4 midfielders, 2 strikers, that's 6 players. That equals 6 bars on players in the box. Corners and free kicks are just on 1, which is because of fearing the counter-attacks, which I can completely understand. So into the actual player instructions. So of course, remember this is Kimpembe for Josh rather than Vidic, but it doesn't really matter. So fullbacks stay back while attacking. And of course, the centre back stay back while attacking. That's never really going to change unless you're playing a really narrow formation. You might want the fullbacks on balance, but with 4-4-2 you definitely want it on stay back while attacking. The two wingers, which in this case is Neymar and Ginola with 5-star weak foots, which is really nice, has them on comeback on defence, which I always find interesting for pros that have their wingers on comeback on defence. But I do know why it is, because they're playing really top players, they're playing other pros in the competitive scene, etc, etc. If the two wingers are on stay forward or they're just dawdling back, that can leave them quite open. So they do tend to like to have two banks of fours. Even with the 4-2-3-1, the lamb and the ram are on comeback on defending. So yeah, I kind of get that. And of course, when they start attacking, they'll start bombing forward anyway. So yeah. Right, in the middle, similar to a 4-2-3-1, and this won't shock you. So two central midfielders, one on stay back while attacking, cover centre. There's no need for him to go wide, especially when we've got wide midfielders on comeback and defence, and we've got fullbacks on stay back while attacking. We need to change that so it's on cover centre. We've got Vidal and Tonali here. Vidal is a little bit more defensive. He's on the stay back while attacking, and Tonali is on balanced attack, which means he's going to get involved a little bit more. So you won't just have that front four, you'll have Tonali involved as well. But, you know, Vidal's playing as a central midfielder here. He's not playing as a CDM. So when we was talking about it being more aggressive and further up the pitch and a little bit more in their face, it's not like Vidal is going to be sat on the halfway line if you're attacking. He's going to be there as like a nice pivot for you to come back to if you want to recycle the ball. So really, you're going to end up with 6 players in your attack, which is obviously nice and what makes it quite an aggressive formation with these tactics anyway. Up front, a couple of superstars, and there is absolutely no instructions on these whatsoever. And that is because you just don't need it. You don't need to tell them to stay in the centre because you've got 2 of them. You don't want to tell them to drift out wide. You've got players out wide, so just leave it be. That's one thing that I really take from these tactics videos that we do, is how much maybe we play about with the tactics and how little sometimes that pros play about with it. And maybe that's the way to go. Or maybe it isn't. Maybe it's just because their natural ability is higher that they can manipulate stuff themselves, whereas maybe we do need a little bit more assistance. Who knows? But guys, that is some pro player 4-4-2 tactics. We are going to have more tactics come on the channel as and when we stumble across them. Basically when Josh stumbles across them, and of course we'll let you know. They could be tactics about how to see out a game, how to chase a game, because like I said, you want to have 3 or 4 different formations and tactics within your setup to be able to chase a game, close it out, etc, etc. But guys, that is going to be it for today. Please drop a like on the video if you like what you've seen. Go over and subscribe to Burnley Josh's YouTube. That's strange for me to say it because I still say Josh9, but he's now Burnley Josh. And yeah, get in the comments section, ask us anything that you want, we'll get back to you. Don't forget, subscribe to me as well if you're enjoying the content, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you later guys, bye bye.